Okay, so welcome to another Live on Demand episode. My name's Bill, I'm the farmer at St Werburgh City Farm in Bristol, and we're here on the farm this morning. So it's been a fairly busy last year with coronavirus, as it hasn't been for a lot of people, but the animals are still here and still need to be fed and looked after, and we've managed to keep some of our projects running in a slightly different way as well. So we've still got a lot of our beneficiaries, so we've got some adults with learning difficulties, we've got some of the school children that still come through, the teenagers, some of the clubs and other activities that the farm runs. So the whole farm is about 2 acres in total, so really very small. We keep a range of animals. We have some goats, sheep, pigs, chickens, ducks, and we have some turkeys between July and December. So there's been lots going on. We've had a few less animals born this spring than would be normal. We decided to have a few less born because there's less volunteers, less staff here to look after them. So we've given ourselves a slightly easier year, but there's still been plenty going on. We've had chicks hatched. We've had our 2 sheep have given birth, so we've got 4 lambs, which I'll show you in a minute. We've got more chicks about to go in, eggs about to go in the incubator today, I hope. So we've got lots to see this morning, so we better crack on. We'll start with the goats and we'll get them milked, so follow me. Hello goats. So we've got 3 goats in total at the moment. Barley you've met, and the 2 youngsters are last year's kids. So this is Saffron, she was born here. I suppose she must be Barley's niece, sort of. And then the slightly shyer one here, this is Crumble. Crumble's going to grow up to become another milking goat like Barley, aren't you? It's unusual to get your head to come through the hole at all. You can get a goat to do just about anything for a handful of pellets. Okay, so today we're going to be milking Barley, and then we've got to run all 3 goats down to the paddock for the day to have a run round. Okay, Barley, milking time. So cleanliness is very important when you're milking an animal. So the first thing we have to do is make certain that the teats and the udder are spotlessly clean. So we give these a good clean off. That's that. And then it's good practice. So the first milk that's in the udder, or in the bottom of the teat actually, that will have more bacteria in it than the rest. So we always waste the first few squirts as you go. And then once you get to the clean milk that's behind it, you can start milking. So what I'm actually doing, don't kick the bucket over, Barley, is I'm squeezing that finger, then that one, then that one, then that one, in like a wave. When you're learning, you start by squeezing finger and thumb on the teat, and then the other 3 fingers you squeeze down and then let go. So hold, squeeze, let go, but eventually you just do a wave down your 4 fingers. And then let go, which allows the milk to refill in the teat. So Barley would have given birth to her kids last year. Unusually for most dairy farms, we leave the kids with their mother. Most dairy farms will take the kids, or calves if it was a dairy cow farm, will take the kids off mum and rear them artificially, just with milk powder or with a little bit of mum's milk. So mum can produce far more milk than her 2 or even 3 kids could possibly drink. On this farm we do it a little bit differently, so the kids stay with mum and take the milk themselves, and then we put her up on the milking stand once a day and just remind her that we are expecting her to stand here and get milked, but we don't really take very much milk at all, just leave it all for the kids. And then once the kids are weaned at about 3 or 4 months old, we carry on milking her properly once a day, and that means she carries on producing milk, which is what Barley's been doing for must be a year now. She's still producing plenty of milk. They obviously make machines to do this on the big farms. I don't think there's any commercial hand milking going on anymore. But we've only got 1 or 2 goats in milk, so we don't need a machine. The machines work in a very similar way to your hand. They do use suction, but not directly, so it's not a vacuum cleaner. It doesn't suck the milk out. It will squeeze the milk out using a rubber valve around the outside of what's called the cluster that goes on the 2 teats, or 4 teats if it was a cow. And that suction is turned on and off, so the rubber valve does a very similar thing to my hands milking. So we don't produce enough milk on this farm, unfortunately, to use the milk really for anything for humans. It would need to be pasteurised to be safe to drink, or to be used for cheese or whatever, anything that involves humans eating it. So we can't do that. So on this farm we soak it into our pigs' food, and we fatten the pork pigs with it. We also had a project running before coronavirus anyway, where volunteers were turning it into some goat's milk soap. We were selling goat's milk soap from the shop, which was very nice. So annoyingly she's slightly lopsided, so there's more milk in one side than the other. It doesn't really matter, just means you have to carry on with your right hand for a little bit longer than you carry on with your left. Okay, so all done. So put that under there nice and safe, and then let's get these goats out in the paddock for the day, shall we? Okay, so we're here at the main chicken coop. We've got a flock of, there's 8 chickens in total in here. These are speckled Sussex, so they're brown with black and white markings on the end of each feather, so they look really pretty. At least I think they do anyway. The one that isn't brown, you may have noticed, is the cockerel. His name is Asterix. He's quite an unusual French breed of chicken called a Bresse. They obviously lay us a few eggs. They were hatched about this time last year. I had some eggs posted to me right in the middle of lockdown, and we hatched them at home to gain us some extra chickens, as we couldn't go out to buy any or to look at any other farms. So I managed to get hold of a new flock that way. So I'm very, very pleased with them. They're doing really well, laying lots of lovely pale brown eggs, which we'll go and have a look for now, if you like. Follow me. Okay, so we have a very high-tech chicken house with these brown laying boxes on the outside, so the school kids can come and collect the eggs with us when they come to the farm. Also means that the cockerels, if they're a bit feisty, don't have to attack the children while they look for eggs. This makes my life easier. So we'll go through, we'll have a look, see how many eggs we've got in our boxes. Here we go. Oh, that one's still warm. There's 2 in here. Chickens should lay me about an egg a day if I'm really lucky. They're quite an old breed, these speckled Sussex, so they're not quite as productive as the modern versions, so they don't lay quite so many eggs. But 5 eggs from 8 chickens is, I'm happy with that. One thing you might not know about the eggs, you always put eggs with the blunt end at the top and the pointy end at the bottom when they go in the box. It doesn't matter anything if you're going to end up eating them. These eggs are fertile because we have a cockerel in the flock, so they're still perfectly okay to eat, but just in case I end up wanting to hatch any, if you put them pointy end down, then this space at the top is where the air sac forms, so the chick won't get stuck to the shell when it hatches, so you always place them that way down very carefully, just in case you end up wanting to hatch them. It's just a habit I've formed. But there we go, there's our 5 eggs. Okay, so let's go see what else we can find. Okay, so we're here with our dabbling of ducks on their pond. It's a rather dirty green pond. We do clean it, we promise. It tends to go colour quite a lot in the sunlight quite quickly. They're all having a bit of peace and quiet in the sunshine, which is nice to see. I don't know if you can spot them yet, but we have 2 little bantam chickens in here as well. So the bantam chickens are half the size of the full big chickens. But there's Rod and his wife in here as well. So we have a few ducks. They lay us not very many eggs at all. These ducks are getting quite old now, so they're not laying us quite so many eggs. We could bring them all over into the pond if we throw some corn in, I guess. See how that works. You gonna plunk and play ball? Unless they're all overfed, which is possible. Two bantam chickens haven't learnt what corn is yet. The ducks have been doing this for years and are wise in the ways of people throwing food at them. So there's all sorts of different breeds of ducks. The white ones are Aylesbury's or runners. There's a khaki Campbell cross. The pale, creamy peach coloured one is a big German breed called a Saxony. And I think the rest will be crossbreeds of various sorts depending on what drake I managed to get that year. But you're a nice bunch, aren't you? Okay, so let's carry on. We'll go on down the farm and see what else there is to look at. Okay, so we're here in the chick stable. I know they don't look much like chicks. The bigger ones are, well, you know, about 2 months old. There's a couple of youngsters that are hiding it off shot of camera that are only a couple of weeks old. We hatch chicks in the school classrooms. If you meet our chicken flock, the speckled Sussex, these are speckled Sussex chicks, so these are the offspring of the hens we have here, and a rather splendid similar cockerel called Duke. So like I said, they're hatched in school classrooms. This year, because of coronavirus, was slightly odd, so obviously the schools were shut mostly, so we didn't actually hatch in the classroom. We did it online through various cameras and videos and so on that we tried to keep the kids entertained and engaged with the eggs as they hatched, which wasn't too bad. It was fairly successful. You're a busy lot this morning, aren't you? So we'll rear these ones up. The hens will find new homes in back gardens. The cockerels we keep for about 3, maybe 4 months, and then they go off to be eaten. Also got these grey chickens, are a breed called a cream leg bar, who lay blue eggs. These are actually the only ones of these are the cockerels. The females are a browner colour, and they all went off to another city farm once I could tell which was which. So we've only got the boys, but they're very pretty nonetheless, aren't you, boys? We will be having turkey chicks that will come from the turkey farm in early July. They're not quite here yet, and they will live in here once these guys have moved out. So we'll have some turkey chicks. They grow much, much faster than the chickens do, so they'll be outside quicker than these boys will. So this is our flock of sheep up here on the allotment paddock. So we have 2 ewes. So this is Mildred, who is a coloured Ryland, lovely brown sheep, and the slightly shyer one behind me, if I don't look at her, is Rita, lovely Rita. How do you miss? Hi. Rita is a grey-faced Dartmoor, a long wool, really impressive sheep. We will be shearing our ewes soon actually. You'll be grateful to have your jumpers off. And they had 4 lambs this spring, which are our lovely black lambs here. The father was a different breed to all the others, was a Jacob, a spotty sheep. So he means we have spotty lambs. They soon get bored if you don't have any food for them and wander off. So like I said, it's shearing time relatively soon, next couple of weeks I hope. We'll get round to that. Each of these ewes is wearing about the equivalent of 5 woolly jumpers. So I don't particularly want to wear 5 woolly jumpers at the moment, and neither do they. So once a year they have a haircut and they're a little bit cooler. It means we can use the wool for some of our school projects. It's used to mulch the flower beds and things as well. Hey. If you don't tell the other animals, the sheep are my favourite, but don't tell the others. Right, I think I'm nearly out of grass pellets, my friends, and then you're going to get bored and wander off, aren't you? Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, last one. There you are. Nope. It's definitely cupboard love from sheep. If you run out of grass pellets, they stop liking you so much. Okay, so this is the pig pens, which is the last stop on our tour. We've got our 3 pork pigs in here, which I happen to have some treats for as well. Pig, pig, pig! Good girls. So these are 3 gilts, so they're young female pigs. They're about 7 months old now. Their breed is a Berkshire, so they're actually one of the smallest breeds of pig we have in this country. The commercial pigs, things like the large white and the landrace, are anything up to twice that size at the same age. So we keep them around here. They enjoy chewing their way through the mud, churning it all up for me, and having a snooze in their beds is their favourite 2 pastimes. So these 2 will be off to be sausages relatively soon, and I'll have to look then either to breed a new litter with our sow, our adult female pig, or possibly go off to another, probably a local community farm, and buy in some more piglets. So there's a bit of a rotation as we go through. They're not on the farm for very long. They're one of my favourite animals. They're one of the most intelligent. They're great fun. They do like chewing your welly boots when you're trying to clean them out. Thank you, Rod. Enough noise from you. And they're just great fun, very fond of my pigs. You can't really see amongst the mud, but Berkshires have 6 white markings. So there's a white tip to their tail. And if you can spot them, they also have 4 white socks and a white blaze on their face, a white marking on their face of some sort anyway. You're lovely, aren't you, girls? So like I said, that's the last stop. That's all we really have to show you on this tour. But thank you all very much for coming around and looking at the farm with me, and we'll see you all soon.